Okay, I just wanted to do another quick video, show you all the sublimation tumbler. A lot of people are still having issues with wrapping the tumblers, getting ghosting, the image not being tight enough. So this is just another video to kind of show you a better picture of wrapping and taping down the tumbler. So I cut this image for this particular tumbler 9.3 inches wide by 8.1 inches in length. All tumblers are not the same size. Your image size may vary, but that was the size for this tumbler. So I just took a small piece of tape. Once I get it wrapped around, feels kind of tight, I just take that piece of tape and just hold that piece of paper down tape it down onto the tumbler. So that'll keep the bottom from shifting because it's secured to the other side of the paper and the tumbler. So then I just put a piece of tape down that part of the seam. I do the exact same thing for the top. Just take a small piece and tape the part of the paper that's directly on the cup and tape it to the inside of the cup to keep that side from lifting, shifting, moving around at all. And then I take this part here and pull it very tight and get your next piece of tape and put it down the seam. Alright, so I've got the top and the bottom, and now I want to put a piece in the middle of the seam. Alright, once I've got it like that, for this cup I only took 2 long pieces and put down kind of like partially covering the middle of the seam to the left and to the right. Normally I will put 3 pieces down the seam. I'll put one directly down the middle of the seam. I'll put one to the left of the seam and to the right, just to keep that tape from lifting. When I finally got my settings down, time, temperature, and got my cups correct, the tape that I was using at that point, I think it held a little bit better in the heat than this particular tape does. So I seem to have to use a little bit more of this. So again, with this one I only put 2 pieces down the seam. I would have recommended 3. One directly down the seam, one to the right of the seam, overlapping that piece of tape, and then one to the left of the seam, overlapping that piece of tape. So then I just want to put a piece around the top. Now, as I'm twisting this cup, I'm pulling this tape pretty tight so that the top can be flush against this cup. Once I get it all the way around, just take it, fold it on the inside of the cup. Alright, and I normally put 2 pieces up at the top. I do the exact same thing, wrap it around and get it real tight, and then just press it down inside the cup. Pressing it down inside that cup will keep that top tight and flush against the cup. When you have those white spots up at the top of your cup, it's because your tape did not hold. It wasn't tight enough, and I guess gases got out from those particular spots and it left those white marks. So sometimes if I feel a little funny about my tape holding, I'll take a piece, put on the inside to hold those sides down so that they don't lift and the tape doesn't come up. It's not gonna come off that much, but I just don't want to take any chances, so I don't mind putting the extra tape if that's what I need to do to keep those white spots off. So then I just take a long piece of tape, Do the exact same thing at the bottom. Pull it tight as you're turning the cup around so that the image can lay flat. Once you get it around, I just take it and I smooth those sides down all around. The tape doesn't have to be pretty, the image just has to be flat. And I'll take a second piece and do the same thing. So like I said earlier, this particular tape, to me it doesn't do too well in the heat compared to one of the other tapes that I had. But that first tape that I had, it came in a bundle with pressing pillows, so I couldn't just go back to Amazon and order that particular tape. I thought this probably was the same type of tape. It looked a little bit different. I mean, it works, but it just starts to lift as it's cooking. And if you don't tape it tight enough, put enough tape on, those pieces that you did put on will lift, and then you'll get those white spots. So when you guys are getting those, you just need to probably add more tape, wrap a little bit tighter. Some people use shrink wrap. I don't. Some people use the masking tape method. I do, depending on the cup. I do use the masking tape method for my sippy cups. But for the 20-ounce tumblers, 30-ounce, 15-ounce, I don't use masking tape. I just simply put the heat tape on and I throw it in the oven, like now. So pretty much all of my cups I cook at 350 degrees. The ovens are not always accurate with temperature. You may set it to 350, 400 and think that's what you're using when the actual inside temperature might be 400, 425. So if you set it at 400 thinking that's what you're cooking and you're actually cooking at 425, that's how those cups are burning a lot faster than they should. So I do have an oven thermometer inside of the oven. I set my oven at 435, but my actual temperature on the thermometer reads 350. So 350 degrees is the temperature that I bake my cups at. And I do it for 5 minutes. I rotate these cups every minute and a half. My oven is big enough for my cups to stand up, but it's also small enough that the cup is kind of close to that top heating element. And if I just set it in there and leave it, I believe the top of the cup will start burning. So I don't mind laying it down and rotating it every couple of minutes just to know that my cup is going to come out perfect, because they usually always do. So yeah, when I rotate it, I just turn it probably, I guess, like a fourth. Wait for the next minute and a half, and then I just rotate it again. And that's pretty much it. All right, this is another rotation here, and I think there might be one more rotation after this. Again, it's for 5 minutes, 350 degrees, and I rotate it every minute and a half. Sorry if you hear any clicking and noises. I'm just trying to print out some other images for some other things that I'm working on. A lot of people ask, does temperature drop when you have to keep opening up the door? The temperature will drop if you have your door open for, I don't know, maybe like a minute or so. But to just open it real quick, how I just open it and turn the cups, the temperature isn't dropping enough to affect what your cup is cooking at. Okay, so now the cup is done. I just removed the tape from the top, the bottom, the seam. I use my little Cricut tool to get up under there. You have to be careful with these because if you do scratch the cup, then you can take off the coating. So I just stick it up under there slightly enough just to lift the tape. It usually all just pulls right off pretty easily. Alright, so then I just remove the pieces that are down the seam, and here's the unwrapping. Alright, so that's it. Got any questions, comments, likes? Go ahead and drop them.